Good morning, children. Today we will be starting a new topic from your English reader book. The name of the topic is A Young Girl and Her Diary. It is sometimes also called as The Diary of a Young Girl and one more name, Diary of Anne Frank, journal by Anne Frank. She is a Jewish girl who chronicled her family's 2 years, majorly in 1942 between 1944, in hiding during the German occupation of the Netherlands during the World War II. So let's start the lesson. Before you read, children, you have to think about this lesson. Can you imagine how difficult it must be to live in a small room with 7 other people for almost 2 years and never be allowed to step out? Step out means to go out and breathe fresh air. Have you ever been in a situation where you have confined to a space and you are not allowed to move out, and there are many people who are living inside that room, same room? So can you imagine a young girl who is only 13 years old and she has to undergo with such situation, and if she will move out, there is a threat to her life and whole family. And unfortunately, this is what Anne Frank, a 13-year-old, and her family had to do in Germany in the year 1942. This is the small room where she used to live with her family members, and overall there were 7 people who were living in the same room. Children, Annie's diary begins on her 13th birthday, June 12, 1942, and ends shortly after her 15th birthday. At the start of her diary, Annie describes fairly typical girlhood experiences, writing about her friendship with other girls, and she was describing in her diary that the whole family has to undergo such a typical trauma, such a difficult situation which is only created by Nazis in Germany. Now we will read the whole story of Anne Frank and her family. Let's read to find out more. During the World War II in Europe, the Nazis of Germany considered the Jews as inferior to them. They wanted to destroy the Jewish people and their culture. As a result, they started sending the Jews to prison camps. In this picture, you will see the leader of Nazi, that is Hitler, and we are aware of this name ever before. This is the symbol of Nazi party, and the place here is located as Germany. So Jews, the people who belong to Hitler party or Hitler community, they consider other Nazis, they consider Jews as inferior. Nazis, they themselves understand them as superior, and Jews, for them, they are having a viewpoint as that Jews are inferior to them. The only purpose of Nazis is to destroy Jewish people and their culture. Why they were thinking so? Because they hate those particular group or tribe. As a result, because of that feeling of hatred, they started sending Jewish people to prison camps. Children, the meaning of Nazis: member of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, who are Jews, members of the community whose traditional religion is Judaism and who trace their origin to the ancient Hebrew people of Israel. Jews belong to Israel and Nazi belong to Hitler party, that is has their base in Germany only. Destroy means to ruin or kill. Inferior means to lower in rank or status. Anne Frank was also a Jew. To save herself and her family, Anne, along with her mother Edith, father Otto, and sister Margot, went into hiding in the backroom office and warehouse of Annie's father's business. 4 other Jews may also hid with them in the small space, and their non-Jewish friends smuggled food and other supplies to them. The Frank family. He is the father of the family of these 2 children, Margaret and Anne, whose name is Otto. The elder sister, Margaret, and the smaller one, Annie, and she is the mother, Edith. Now, they all were Jew members, and there were 4 members in the family, and while others also joined them, and they all were hiding because of Nazis people. They were hiding to hide oneself for a period of time in the backroom office, which is totally a warehouse of Annie's father's business. What is warehouse? It is a storeroom. So Annie's father has a business in which they were in their warehouse storeroom. They all were hidden. 4 other Jew members, including them 4 other Jewish people, they were also hiding with them in that same tiny room. And their non-Jewish friend, those who were their friends, they smuggled food. Smuggle means to bring illegal items to them. So they transfer illegal. It means that without the knowledge of others, they bring food and other essential commodity supplies to them. Supplies means item of necessity. So their friends used to give their necessity items to them, but without the knowledge of Nazis people. Can you think how cruel the Hitler was, that he cut off the necessity food of Jewish people? It was that he had done that deprivation on the Jewish community. Children, who was Hitler? Hitler was, let me show you his picture. He is Hitler and he was the dictator, तानाशाह जिसे कहते हैं हम, dictator in Germany. Now we will read more about Anne Frank and her family. Anne Frank was born on 12th June 1929. She began to keep a diary on her 13th birthday, that is 12th June 1942. 3 weeks later, they went into hiding. Annie's family never left their hideout until, unfortunately, the Nazi police discovered them in August 1944. Hideout means hiding place. She was born on 12th June, children, and she has decided on the 13th birthday that she will maintain a diary. So this is the page of her diary, and she used to write everything in that diary, even the experience of her friend, the experience she faced during Nazis' rule. So everything she has written her trauma also, the state where she has to undergo. They were then moved to the concentration camp. where Annie's mother died in 1945. What is concentration camp? A place where political prisoners are held. Soon after, Annie and her sister also died of an infectious disease. The infectious means that is transferable from one person to another person. So both of them, they died because of some disease which was infectious. Their father was the only family member who had survived. Sadly, all the family members were died except the father, whose name was Otto. Only he survived, and everybody else didn't survive. When friends found Annie's diary in a hiding place, they gave it to her father, who got it published in 1947. Annie's friend, they found her diary. She has hidden somewhere else, and they gave it to her father. And her father, when she was died, at that time he found it, and he was the one who gave it to the publisher house to get it published. Published means to print it as a book, which was occurred in the year 1947. In this page, children, you will find that Annie's mother and Annie and her sister, all of them died due to infectious disease, and only the father of the family was survived. And in this page, you will find he found the diary which was maintained by Annie, and he has given it for publishing. Now, let's read some fact about Anne Frank. Over 1 million children under the age of 16 died in the Holocaust. Children, this is a new word for you. Holocaust. What is the meaning of it? A very large amount of destruction, especially by fire or heat, a killing of the large number of people. This is a Holocaust. So can you imagine? Over 1 million children were killed. Not died. They were not died. They were killed by them, by Nazis. So she was also one of them. Anne Frank was one of these children. Here is a brief account of Annie's life. Annie, who missed the company of her friends, had maintained a diary. Ultimately, the closest friend she had during her tragically short life was her diary. She addressed it as Kitty. It was only to Kitty that she entrusted her innermost thoughts. Annie, she was very young. She missed her friend's company because she was living in the confined to a room only, to a limited space, and she cannot move out. And in that time, she maintained a diary, and she used to write everything related to her daily life. And finally, the diary was found by her closest friend. Tragically means, children, causing great unhappiness. Addressed means called. She used to call her closest friend as the name Kitty. You will find, if you read her book, you will find this name Kitty many times. You will get confused who is this Kitty. But the Kitty is her closest friend. This was the code word for her. She used to address her best friend by the name Kitty. Annie's thoughts of courage and hope are recorded in her diary. They have inspired millions of readers throughout the world. Here are some excerpts from her diary. When I write, I can shake off all my cares. April 5, 1944. This is the pages of her diary. This is the real writing of her. Excerpts means short parts. Shake off means to let go of. Children, she lived a small life, though She and her life was full of courage and hope, and that is what she has recorded in her diary also. And here are some excerpts, which means some small portions are there from her diary. Maybe a line is there. Yes. So entire diary can't be given you as the lesson. It will be too long. So some portion is taken out from her diary so that you can read in her own language. Excerpts means short part of her diary. In this line, children, when I write, I can shake off. Shake off means to let go of or to forget all my cares. Whenever she write her diary, she forget all her worries, all her tension, and she get relaxed while writing. So it was kind of meditation for her to write. That is why she used to maintain regularly diary. It was written April 5, 1944. Describing her despair. Children, despair means hopelessness. Now in this paragraph, she is describing her hopelessness. Why she is showing hopelessness? Because she wants to do a lot, but she was confined to a limited place, and she was only what she can do, she can only write. She cannot do anything for her own pupil. So that is why she is describing her despair. I have reached the point where I hardly care whether I live or die. Now she has reached to a point of time where her life doesn't matter to her. The world will keep on turning without me, and I cannot do anything to change events anyway. Whatever is happening in front of her, the Nazis rule, she can't change it. She can only accept it, and she can't turn that page or turn that event. I will just let matters take their course and concentrate on studying and hope that everything will be all right in the end. Let matters take their course means to allow events to happen as they will. This was written in February 3, 1944. Children, in this paragraph, if you see carefully, she has described lots of sadness. That even though she live or die, it doesn't matter to the world. She is describing that, and whatever event is taking place at that time will go on like this. Nothing will change. But lastly, this line is full of hope. She said that I will be focusing on my studies, and I will be hopeful that everything will be all right in the end. In the end, she is ending the paragraph with lots of hope. This she has written on February 3, 1944. She is Anne Frank over here. She has written something on her old country also. On her old country, Germany. Fine specimens of humanity, those Germans. And to think I'm actually one of them? No, that's not true. Hitler took away our nationality long ago. And besides, there are no greater enemies on earth than the Germans and Jews. In this, specimen means, children, example. Humanity means mankind. In this specimen, she wrote, Germans, they took their nationality. Nationality means a nation, a person of that particular nation. Germans took their nationality and they were no longer native to that place. Besides, there are no greater enemies on earth than the German and Jews. He's Hitler. He took away Jewish people nationality. In this paragraph, children, she is explaining that earlier Germans and Jews, those who lived together peacefully, but later on, the Nazi dictator Hitler, he took away Jews' nationality and he left them in the concentration camp only. So now the German dictator Hitler, they made two separate groups, that is German and Jews, and both of them are now greater enemies on the earth. It's a wonder I have not abandoned all my ideals. They seem so absurd and impractical, yet I cling to them because I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are truly good at heart. Now, children, here in this paragraph, you will be introduced to her positivity and her thoughts, Annie's frank positivity, that though everything is going very opposite in her direction, on her way, but she has not left her ideals. Ideals means abandoned, means left. She has not left all her principles. Ideals means principles. They seem so absurd. Now, following those principles seems so absurd, means ridiculous. But still she is following them because she believes that people are truly good by heart. Yet I cling to them. Cling means hold on. She still hold on those principles, value those principles of humanity very well, because she believes in equality and truthfulness. But on the other hand, she is not getting such kind of response from German people, from Nazis. But she is showing and following the path of humanity. She will not leave that path anyhow. Here another line, children, which is taken from her diary. Why do I always think and dream the most awful things and want to scream in terror? She wrote in the diary of a young girl. In this she wants to show her positivity, that why she will think about the negative things and why she will scream in terror, because she has not done anything wrong. The wrong is done upon her. Somebody is doing wrong to her. Why she will scream in terror? So she will stick on her principles only. It's utterly impossible for me to build my life on a foundation of chaos, suffering and death. It is impossible for Annie to build her life on foundation. Foundation means base. Of chaos, means turmoil or confusion. She doesn't want to build her principles on confusion, suffering and death. I see the world being slowly transformed into wilderness. Now she is seeing from her little space that the world is slowly transforming into a wilderness. What's wilderness? Wasteland. She called this world a wasteland. Can you imagine a 13-year-old girl? She is using this word to the world. She is showing the true picture to the world, that this world is no longer worthy living. I hear the approaching thunder that one day will destroy us too. Now she can clearly listen from outside world. The response she is getting towards Jewish people, that one day they will destroy her too. I feel the suffering of millions. Not only she is feeling her own suffering, but the millions of Jews. She can feel them. And yet, when I look up at the sky, I somehow feel that everything will change for better. Spite of everything, chaos going in the world, wilderness shown to her on her way, but still she didn't left the hope. She looked up at the sky and she is wishing, she is hoping for the better will come on her way and things will change. That this cruelty too shall end, and peace and tranquility will return once more. Now, a very strong line written by her that this cruelty, this harmful behavior by Nazis will too pass. We often say this word in difficulty that this too shall pass. It means that this cruelty will also pass. But the time period is tough. She is accepting that the time period is tough for her, but she is hoping that this time will too pass quickly. And after this passing of time, she will be having a long period of peace and tranquility, which means serenity, calmness will return once more. This is the Anne Frank rule. This she wrote on July 15, 1944. Foundation means base, chaos means turmoil, confusion, wilderness means wasteland, tranquility means calm or serenity. About this story, children, Annie's Frank diary, published as Annie Frank, the diary of a young girl in English, has also published in more than 60 languages all over the world. It is a powerful reminder of the horrors of the war and has continued to inspire millions of people with its resilient means powerful portrayal of the human spirit. This was all about the life of Annie and her family. And this diary was published actually in the Dutch language, then later on it was translated in English language, and nowadays we will find it is translated in more than 60 languages around the world, and it is the most read book ever. And you will find this book, diary of hers, very powerful and very inspiring stories of her life. This is Annie's book. Children, if you want to read, you can buy it from Amazon. It is there. Annie Frank, the diary of a young girl. Annie Frank, she was an ordinary German Jewish girl. Her religion was Jewish. She became famous after her death because of her diary. During her lifetime, her existence doesn't matter to the world. But she kept on writing her diary, her thoughts on her diary. And after her death, her diary became popular. Through her diary, people were able to see what life was for a Jew and the sacrifices people made to stay alive during World War II. This was a whole scenario which took place during World War II and how she lived and sacrificed her life during that period. I hope you will find inspiration from her story and you will read more about her through this